So, standard 8 students, when we are talking about biology, it's very important to know what we are made up of. And here is a chapter which tells you that basically what are the components by which an organism develops. Robert Hooke, a scientist in 1665, around that time, he invented a microscope. Microscope is a magnifying device. It enlarges the size. You have seen magnifying glass. If you have not seen, then you can use any glass being used by your parents, and you'll see, especially the reading glass your parents might be using, that magnifies. That means it increases the size. Even a convex lens, if you can go and ask to your teacher to show you, that will give you a little magnified image when anything is close to it. But normal magnification is around 10 to 100 times. Robert Hooke invented a microscope. Microscope has got two parts. There is an objective lens here and there is an eyepiece lens here. So he took cork. Cork is a bark of plants, and from there he just peeled out a very small piece. Like I can show you, it must be like this point, and he kept on this platform. The objective first magnified, say for example, magnified it by 50 times, and the eyepiece, there is another lens, there are two convex lenses, so it magnified it further and it became 50 times more. That means 15 to 50 is around 2500 times. That is what, so I'm just giving, the number may differ, but that is how the magnification takes place in a compound microscope. Like one lens first magnifies, so I kept the cork over here, and the cork, is a part of a plant bark, and I kept it here, and then it got magnified 50 times, and then another 50 times. Then this type of structure from top, when we looked, then this type of structure was seen. It was like partitions, and then these partitions had some dots. And then Robert Hooke in 1665 he saw, and he named each of these partitions as cell. Cell has a literal meaning, a confined place, a small room type. So this looks like a room. So normally a cell is a 3D structure. When we cut, then we see a cross section of that 3D structure. I am telling you what is a 3D structure. Suppose there is a cake and you cut, then we can only draw the section of it. So like a cell is, so this is a cross-sectional structure of that cork piece and the magnification of it. So the cell was seen. Later on, with advancement of science, we understood like cell is like a cell is a very small structure, and actually every organism, big and small, has got that important component by which the whole body is made up of. Our body will contain cells. There will be, say for example, on the top there will be, the skin is made up of cell, the blood is made up of cell, and the even hair, it will contain some cells. It's like so, and even the muscle is made up of cells. So the body of any organism is made up of cell. So now see, since our body is made up of cells, lots of cells have added actually to make the tissues. A number of tissues then are added to make an organ, and a number of organ then, like organ means what? Organ means, say for example, the small intestine, the large intestine, the stomach, the esophagus, the mouth. So organ, and many of such organs form the organ system. So organ system means like large intestine, small intestine, liver, etc. will form what? The digestive system. So that is an organ system. And our heart, the lungs, and then the windpipe, all of them, they will form the the respiratory system. Lungs, especially lungs and the trachea, and if I include heart and the veins and the arteries, then that will form the circulatory system. So a number of organ systems then made me as an organ. But the ultimate, the foundation is the cells to tissues to organ system and to organism. That is how is the order. So that is why we call cell is the smallest structural unit of life, but I have also added functional unit of life. See, when we breathe, it appears that when we are breathing in, I'm just giving an example. When we are breathing in, we think oxygen is taken in. Now where does it go? Then the carbon dioxide is released. Where does it come from? Actually, the O2 we breathe, it goes inside our body through the lungs and goes to each and every cell. And in each and every cell, it burns the stored food. And the stored food will release CO2 as a byproduct. And this byproduct will come back and I will breathe it out. So ultimately, a lot of functions are taking inside the cell, and the collective effect is seen by us. So the cell is the smallest structural and functional as well as the functional unit of life. That is what I have mentioned. Alright. So again, I have written a cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of life. So this you can see, you have seen the microscope. You have seen the, how does a cork cell kept here? So I have magnified it. There is a magnified thing. हमको ऊपर से सही दिखेगा. From the top we will see that. Then we come to the types of cells. The cells have got, even in human body, cells are of different shape and size. They can be small, they can be large. Some of them have certain organelles, some may not have. Like for example, in our body, the nerve cell is like this almost. And it contains nucleus. The muscular cell will contain nucleus, something extra, some extra things will be there in each and every cell, and something may be lacking. And then in RBC, red blood cell is a peculiar cell. It does not have nucleus at all. Nucleus is over here. These dots are nucleus actually. So most of the cells, they have a nucleus, because nucleus controls all the event of the cell. But WBC does not have a nucleus. So that means cells may vary in shape and size, and also the type of the type of organelles they have. Cell के अंदर भी बहुत सारे organelles होते हैं, जैसे nucleus होता है. Cell के अंदर में we have, inside the cell we have nucleus. We can have we can have mitochondria. Like in plant cell we have cell wall, which animal cell does not have. So there is a diversity in the structure of cell and the size of cell. Like the smallest cell known is PPLO, that is the pneumonia mycoplasma pleural pneumonia cells. So PPLO is the smallest cell. Now this PPLO may be of 10 microns, that is 10 into 10 to the power minus 6 of a meter. That's a very small, like you cannot see anything, the cell with your eyes, so you can imagine how small it is. And then the largest cell you can see, that is the egg of an ostrich. An egg of birds, they are cells. So such big cell also are there. In human being, the sperm is the smallest cell, they say, and the ovum is the largest cell, but you try to find out and write in the comment box which is the largest and which is the smallest cell. Then also we have got, there are single celled animals also. A single cell, there may be a single celled animal, like amoeba is a single celled animal. Just imagine amoeba exists in nature. It is a little larger in size, therefore sometimes using simple microscope we are able to see amoeba. And it has got very irregular shape. Like you see, it has got false feet, pseudopodia protruding out. Pseudo means false and podia means legs. So it has got false feet. So that is amoeba. That is single celled. All these, a lot of disease carrying germs are single cell. Like Plasmodium vivax is a unicellular organism. It's a protozoa. Later on I will tell you about the classification when we study microorganisms. So it is a complete animal in itself. This cell breathes, this cell eats, this cell reproduces. So all the functions what we do, this cell does. We have got diversity, we have got differentiation. Our breathing is done by one organ system, our circulation is done by another organ system. But this single cell also does the whole work, and it is an animal. Alright, so it's an organism. Similarly, we are multicellular organisms. Our body will contain millions and trillions of cells. So we have multicellular organisms. So this is what we will keep in our mind for the class to come, where we will study first the structure of an animal cell. Thank you.